Good morning, children. How are you? Yes, we have enjoyed the lesson Sindbad the Sailor, how adventurous it was. Yes, we have already seen how adventurous journey was it. Today we are going to read the lesson Sindbad the Sailor and comprehend the questions given at the end. Now see all of you, Sindbad the Sailor. I bought a substantial stock of goods to trade and sailed on a ship with a number of my merchant friends. We placed ourselves in the care of Allah and set off. Soon we reached an island. We decided to go ashore. My friends went to gather fruits and flowers, but I took my food packet to a place in the shade. I had a good meal and lay down to sleep under the trees. I don't know how long I slept, but when I awoke and looked out to sea, the ship had gone. I was all alone. Not knowing what to do, I climbed up to the top of a tall tree and looked over the island on all sides. In the distance, I could see something white and decided to find out what it was. Soon I came to what seemed like a huge white ball. When I touched it, it felt very smooth. It was so high that I could not see the top of it, and it was more than 50 paces round. There was no door on any side, and it was too smooth to climb. Suddenly, the sky above me became dark as if a huge cloud was covering it. Looking up, I saw that the darkness was caused by the shadow of a huge bird that was flying towards me. I, I had often heard sailors talk of a great and wonderful bird called a roc. This must be a roc, I thought, and this huge ball must be its egg. So, this was explained to you, children. Now, turn the page to page number 84. Let's continue. The bird came nearer and sat on its egg. I soon crept close to the egg. Near me was one of the bird's legs, which was as big as a tree. I decided to tie myself to the leg of this bird with my turban so that when it flew away from the island it would carry me with it. At daybreak the bird flew up so high that I was carried out of sight of the island. Then it came down again so fast that I lost my senses. When I found myself on the ground, I quickly untied the turban. The bird caught up a snake and flew away. This time, I found myself surrounded on all sides by immense mountains and seemed to reach above the clouds. Possibility of climbing. The sides of the valley looked so steep that there was no possibility of climbing them. When I began to look around the valley, I found that there were large diamonds lying on the ground. I was excited to find such riches lying around me. Then I saw something else that made me very frightened. All around the valley there were huge serpents, some of them big enough to even eat an elephant. These came out of their holes at nightfall. During the day, I suppose they hid themselves from the rocks. I found a small cave where I decided to spend the night at the entrance. I put a large stone to protect myself from the serpents, but the noise of the hissing outside made sleep impossible. I was glad that they went to their holes as daylight came on and I was able to come out again. But I was still frightened. In fact, I found myself walking upon diamonds without a thought of their value. At last, being very tired, I decided to eat a little of my food and then to have a short sleep in the sun. I was suddenly awakened by something which fell near me. I sat up and found that it was a huge piece of a raw meat. At the same time, more pieces fell down from the rocks above the valley. I had heard stories in the past about this valley of diamonds, but had not believed them. Now I saw with my own eyes what the local merchants did to obtain the jewels. They used huge eagles to carry up the diamonds for them. When the eagles have young ones in their nest among the rocks, they fly down into the valley to get food for them. So the merchants would throw down large pieces of raw meat. The diamonds stick to the meat and in this way get carried to the eagle's nest. Yes, continue children. Next page. Each merchant has its own nest and considered its jewels. his. The idea came to me that I too could use these eagles. I myself could be lifted up from this deep valley and thus escape from it. The eagles were so big and strong that my weight would seem little. First, I collected a number of large diamonds. These I put in my wallet and tied the wallet to my waist. Next, I tied one of the large pieces of meat to the middle of my bag with my turban. I then lay down with my face to the ground and waited there. There was the sound of huge wings around me. Then I felt myself lifted up and carried to the top of the rocky walls of the valley. Soon I was in one of the nests. The merchants were surprised to see me there, and when they heard my story, they helped me to find a ship to go home. When I got back to Baghdad, I was very wealthy man. I gave large amount of money to the poor and lived peacefully in my own house. Yes, children. Already we have discussed the lesson. Now we have read. Now let's see the answers. Who changed the fate of Sindbad and how? Yes, it was the second voyage of Sindbad which changed the fate of Sindbad. How? He has found the diamonds. Okay, who changed the fate of Sindbad? The valley of diamonds changed the fate of Sindbad. His second voyage changed the fate of Sindbad. What would you want to become in your life? It's your own answer, children. Why not? You have to decide. How would you have handled the encounter with a rock? What would you do? You have to decide and write. What factors would you change to make the story more adventurous and thrilling? This also you have to write on your own, children. Read it carefully and write on your own. Describe the Sindbad preparation for his journey. What did Sindbad do for his journey? Whatever was required for the journey, he has collected and kept with him and trusted in the name of Allah and started their journey. So all the answers are application based answers, children. So you have to write on your own. Try it, children. All the best. Thank you.